Welcome to the Nightly Rant
with
your hosts, Mike
and Torya.
This is the show where we examine society from a sarcastic point of view.
If you like insane conversations, this is definitely the show for you.
Let's get into today's topic. YPN people, I don't know about you, but I love helping out a friend. That's why I want to shout out my friend Brian Little and his podcast, Your Favorite Blockhead. This is the only show that manages to weave together peanuts and MMA into one heck of an amazing podcast. You can find Your Favorite Blockhead wherever your favorite podcasts reside and at yourfavoriteblockhead.com. Do me a huge favor and listen to Brian's show. You'll be entertained and you'll help out a friend. Now, as I said, let's get into today's topic.
So I say this all the time, and I know you agree with me. So stop. Don't speak yet. You're going to get your chance here to go. But people in general should not ask questions unless they're prepared to hear any answer. We've agreed on this, right?
I'll take what you just said a step further to also include stating your opinion publicly.
Correct. If you state your opinion publicly on something, then you need to be prepared to answer questions. Some people are going to be confused. You put your opinion out there, that is influential. It means something. I don't care who you are. Be prepared to answer questions. That's all.
Influences at least one other person in the universe.
Be prepared to answer questions. That's all. That's all I ask. Is that bad?
Well, why are you asking the questions? What is your goal with asking people questions about their opinion?
To understand their viewpoint on that issue.
So your goal isn't to tell them how wrong they are, or that they're dumb, or that their opinion is factually incorrect?
No, in fact, usually these days especially, I will say your opinion is completely valid. But it isn't one that I completely connect with because I don't understand this aspect. Can you explain? Blah. And I blah out whatever the question is. And then they attempt to answer. And most times they don't even attempt to answer because they don't care. Blah. They just growl back at you. And it's like, no. I was truly trying to understand where you were coming from.
Well, then if your intention is to just understand, then no.
Right.
You're not doing it.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong then. If your intention is to drag them into a trap and then pounce on them and beat them to death, yeah, that'd be pretty wrong.
Or at least mean and nasty.
Sure, which is wrong.
And
it's wrong to be mean and nasty.
Sometimes it's fun.
Well, it can be. I won't lie, it can be.
Especially when somebody has a really obscure and ridiculous and factually incorrect opinion. But I digress. We don't need to go there.
Well, yeah. I mean, and why can't somebody disagree about that and not make it be such a big deal? I mean, come on. There's a specific incident in my head, and the minuteness of the topic, if you think about it, it was like less than a grain of sand in the grand scheme of everything, right?
We've had disagreements about things way bigger than that.
Yeah, like
and been laughing together about something else 5 minutes later.
That's nothing. That's like nothing. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like fart dust is a bigger deal than that.
Fart dust does smell pretty bad.
And yet, people who are allegedly adults make it about them and, we need to like quiet quit the friendship. And that's literally what people do these days. Grown ass adults.
It's called ghosting.
Grown ass adults just leave and don't talk to you anymore. They don't have even the balls to say, I'm going to say it. They don't even have the balls to say, fuck you.
Wow.
They don't have the balls to say anything. Yes, I'm the reason for the E.
It's always.
It's all me.
Now I feel like all the words are fair game, though.
But here's the thing. it's like they don't even have the guts to say goodbye. Like, I'm done. That's a wussy move. I mean, those are the kind of people that disappear from their family too. No,
Right.
no BS.
You know, I had a great idea earlier, and I was thinking that it'd be great if society would just chew up these cocksucking assholes that you're describing, you know, the people who don't function as part of society because they're just too fucking wrapped up in their own self.
Yeah, they're not adults.
Chew them up and shit them out into outer space using the Earth's giant rectum.
Yeah.
Yep, the Earth is going to grow a giant rectum, and it needs to shit these people out because they're destroying the world.
In many senses of the word, yes, they are.
They're the most hostile people, yet they're the people who will call everybody else hostile.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, there's also like this issue where adults can't be adults. They just can't. Like we're talking about, like ghosting. That's not an adult move. Ghosting people. That's a little baby's move. Ghosting.
Right.
Oh, where's your friend Johnny? Oh, I don't talk to him anymore. It's what a little kid does. It's not what an adult does.
Right. And then there's poor Johnny crying in the corner because he doesn't know why nobody likes him. And also Johnny will continue to be an asshole for the rest of Johnny's life because nobody has ever told him why they don't like him.
Which, in my opinion, makes you the asshole for not pointing it out to him.
Right.
And if you pointed it out to him and he continued down the pathway, you pointed it out to him. And he gets to continue down the pathway if he wants to.
You gotta tell people how you feel about things. You know what's interesting? Yeah. When I was in Canada, not this most recent time, but the time before, I was hanging out with Alicia. And you know how she has miniature humans. Well, the boy miniature human punched the girl miniature human. And she came screaming and crying to mom, you know, kid stuff. And Alicia told her that she needed to go tell miniature boy human how it made her feel so that he would apologize to her. And she did, and he apologized. And then gave her a hug. And this is a 4 and a 5-year-old, people.
Yeah, and you know, the honest truth is there's no reason whatsoever for someone to act like everything's okay when there are obvious signals that everything's not okay. There's no reason for anyone to ever do that to anybody. That's why I think, you know, we talk about this all the time. You know, our relationship works because, you know, it takes you longer than me to get there, but we tell each other, well, that bothered me when that happened.
I know that I'm a little bit irrational. Okay, whatever. No commenting. Not allowed. I know that I'm a little bit irrational, and sometimes I don't know if I'm actually annoyed with you or if I'm being crazy. So I need to take some time to decipher if I'm being crazy.
But that's fair because that means that even makes you even more reasonable because instead of putting our relationship through a roller coaster of crap, you take the time to filter it yourself. And here's the thing, though. A lot of people would bitch at you for that, but I commend you for it because you still come forward with the issues to get them fixed.
Think about it. You're doing something that's annoying the crap out of me, okay? Not right now. This is a hypothetical. You are doing something that's annoying. Well, it's a
hypothetical reality. It happens.
Yeah. Anyway, I could say something right then when you're being annoying in my hyper-irrational, super annoyed state.
Sure.
Which, what would happen? Bad.
Always.
Let's just say doom would ensue.
Always.
Nobody needs that. Or I could stew quietly about it for a while and then come back to it the next day when I'm not crazy and decide if I was actually annoyed with you or not. And then if I was actually annoyed with you, I could be like, hey, Mike, you did this thing. Please don't do it again.
Yeah. You know what, though? I obviously am the same person as you, so I obviously approach that same issue the same way as you. And I, though, have one time only with you followed the completely like reasonable, give her the benefit of the doubt approach. I've done it many times, but once and only once did I regret doing it. And you did like something like you had a comeback of like, I can't even remember the comeback at this point, but it was like really this like really sassy, like, you know, you didn't deny that you were doing something and that it would have bothered me. You didn't deny that at all. But you just sort of ignored it and went like, but what about this? You know, and it's like, wow, man, that isn't how we're supposed to deal with each other. We're supposed to deal with each other face to face. We're not supposed to like try to duck around one another. And that's how that felt, right?
That's why everybody has to calm down before issues should be confronted.
Well, exactly. And that's the thing. There's times when you do have to wait. And there's times when you should take time to think about things. And I think it's more adult-like to wait rather than overreact. However, I'm going to say something different. One last thing. When someone does that to you, they overreact. It's best for you to, quote, overreact back and protect yourself. That's what I think.
Well, because then you're going to get the whole thing out of the way right there instead of you stewing that I overreacted and making it a fight the next day and the next day and the next day. I agree with you. If one person has already gone off the deep end, well, you might as well just have the knockdown, drag out fight right there.
Just get it over with. I think we agree with that, and it's healthy. That's the healthy way, and we act like adults about it. And that's the key thing, though. You have to be able to speak your mind without the other person getting offended. And honestly, I think a big thing that most adults just don't have any longer, used to, is the ability to like separate things. You know, just because you're not the most empathetic person in the world doesn't mean you're stupid. So why do you take offense to somebody pointing out that you're not being empathetic?
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say before you had something else you had to say. If I didn't take the minute to calm myself, or minute or hours or 6 days, you know, whatever is necessary, all arguments I had with everybody would be like my fight with the Sam's Club lady, where I called them an idiot and they walked away.
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't your proudest moment.
Or my slight disagreement with that soccer mom that one time that I won't repeat.
Well, and that's
how it turns out.
But what's funny about that is both of those situations turned out okay in the end.
Well, yeah.
But they had the potential not to be. But here's the thing. By us being reasonable people 98.5% of the time, you can get away with a slip up like that. And the rest of the people are like in particular, the soccer incident, the rest of the parents, you know, you were like, oh, I'm so sorry that I said that in front of you. And they're like, are you kidding? I would have said worse to her. She deserved what you said. And then, you know, everyone, that was literally the opinion. They would be like, oh, I would have said worse. Oh, she deserved it. Blah, 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 blah. Not a single person sided with the other person. Not a single person. Now, here's the thing. We still said our apologies to everybody.
Except the person I yelled at, obviously.
Even though they supported us, we still apologized. And
well, to be fair, I used the worst word Americans can possibly use in front of like 12-year-old children.
Well, the 12-year-old children were out on the soccer field, though. So
Mitchell said he heard it.
Well, it is what it is, man. You did apologize.
That's why I felt like I needed to
apologize.
apologize.
You did to everybody. And yet the point is they were supportive of us because we had always been reasonable people. We didn't yell and scream on the sidelines at our kid, at the referee. We didn't do that stuff. We sat there and we cheered.
Called the referee a psycho.
We talked to each other. Once in a blue moon.
Only when you were egged on by other groups of people, though, too.
We would just talk to each other and ignore everyone. I mean, that's just how we handled things. And so it's sort of annoying that people go down roads that they're like, they don't even bother to think about, well, are they the type of people that would act that way?
So can we officially shoot these hyper aggressive snowflake motherfuckers into space?
Yeah, with the rectum. You said this already, and I fully agree with you.
Well, I need to know if other people agree.
Munch, kapow.
We're not feeding the rectum Taco Bell.
That's gonna make both of those are gonna make a great audio clip. Just a little shorty. Munch, 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 kapow. And we're not feeding them Taco Bell. Just wow. All right. Well,
I'm speechless because of my own joke.
I think we have beaten this topic to death. Like, I didn't even expect us to talk about it for this long. So here's what I want to kind of close up with. Tomorrow, which is the day after we record this, which will be weeks from the time you hear it, we are getting involved in our very first official sporting event together. We are going to play fantasy hockey with the rest of our family. Yes, we are. And we suck at this, but we're
Stay
going to learn
tuned
it
for
quick.
my ultimate failure.
We're going to learn this quick. So, with that, that is all I've got for you people.
Good night, everyone.
Hasta la bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Nightly Rant.
If you enjoyed the show, please give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Google Play.
If you didn't enjoy the show, please just ignore that previous request for a rating.
This has been a Yogi's Podcast Network production.